The Human Torch was denied a bank loan. Me. Boo-doo-doo-doo. 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 Boo-doo-boo-doo. Boop. Boo-doo-boop. Boo-doo-burp. Uh-oh. Did something break? Oh, the button went weird. Okay. Don't you dare break on me now, software. Meow, 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 meow. Meow, 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 meow. Arf, moo, oink, meow. Go! Oh, wait. It's coming up. Go! Oh, I missed it. Oh, no. Oh, what am I going to do? Oh, get ready to push the button. Get ready for the button pushing. Oh my god, the button pushing is going to be unbelievable. Oh, did I push the button? You guys, it's 2023, man. I don't know how to push buttons in the new year. Oh my god. Happy New Year to all you weirdos. Oh my god, weirdos. There's so many weirdos. So many weirdos. So little time. So little weird. So little time for all the weirds. Right? Speaking of all the weirdos out there, hit the like button. It's mildly unimportant, important. I don't know. Whatever. People always like to say, it helps me with the algorithm. Who cares? Just hit the like button because it's free, right? It's free. And by the way, as we get started here in the year 2023, the year 2023 is dedicated to Replay Team 6, okay? If Replay Team 6 does not surge forth with the power that we know that Replay Team 6 has, this year will be a total failure. This year will be a total failure. And then, if 2023 is a total failure, we'll have to wait all the way. Oh, I started early. My alarm just went off. We'll have to wait all the way until 2024. You know what I mean? And then, you know? And then, you know? Then, we'll have to hit buttons over here, and nothing happens. Nothing happens. I'm having problems with my... I'm having problems with my sound effect deck. Because I don't want to pay for software. Not because I'm cheap. It's because I'm thrifty, guys. I'm thrifty, and I tried to use free software, and it didn't work very well. So, whatever. What are you going to do? We'll figure it out. It's 2023, so I'll probably just buy some software so I can make sound effects like farting noises on my own time and then play them during a live stream, you know? And then people will be like, wow, it's so interactive. This interactivity is unbelievable. And then your minds will be blown and you'll be like, I don't know. What are we going to do? Anyhow, if you're in Replay Team 6, 2023 is dedicated to you. So leave a comment on this video for algorithmic. I don't know. Who cares? Just leave a comment that you are SEAL Team 6 and we'll rise up. Replay Team 6 will be the rise up of the people, right? The people rising up will be Replay Team 6, I think. You know? You know what I'm talking about. Aquazen Garden says you got to pay to play. I don't know why. I got to pay to play? Why? What's up? What do I have to pay for? Oh, to play the sound drops? Yeah. There's a software bundle that I'll be buying because I have to update it. And it will have that. It'll have that software in there, and then they're like, but you got to update it. Because I have the software, but because it's not updated, they're like, hey, we don't want the software to work, so I tried to do a different software solution that was free, which was a total chaos, and did not work properly at all. I mean, work, yes. Properly, no. I mean, come on now. Yeah. So it was a disaster. So I was like, let me go ahead and delete any of this out of my computer, so it shall go right back into outer space, and we will never have to worry about it ever again. And that's how I sleep at night, right? Yeah. So that went pretty well. 2023 being dedicated to Replay Team 6. Well, since it's the beginning of the stream, I've got to talk about our commercial application around here. Our Patreon has gone down from 107 patrons to 103. Welcome to 2023, where we have 103 patrons. Our memberships have gone down from 100. We're back into the 2 digits, guys. We're not even in the 90s anymore. We're at 88. And that is a disturbing number to have on a live stream. So we'll call it 88.00, right? There. That feels better. We want to stay away from the number 88. You know what I mean? It's not a good number. Okay. Regardless, that's how many members we have, and that's what's going on in the year 2023. Some people would go like, hey, what's your plans for 2023? And I tell you, if it was 2022 still, back in 2022, back when the naivete of 2022, we had some big dreams. We have big dreams right now. My big dreams are to make sure that there is not a rat anywhere. Okay, that's my big dream right now. My big dream is exterminating rodentia. My big dream of 2023 is all rodentia shall be no mas. Okay? That's my big dream for this year, and that's it. That's all I got. Sorry, guys. That's the big dream of 2023. And, yeah, we're just going to be exterminating rats. That's going to be the deal, because we can't afford this financial oppression brought on by rodents, okay? We can't afford this. We can't afford this financially. The rats are attacking, and we can't afford this. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my plan. My big plan is to exterminate all rats this year. So, get ready for 9,000 videos of me crawling around in a crawl space in the attic hunting rodentia. I guess that's what I'm going to be doing. I don't know. Is that it? Is that the big plan for 2023? Apparently that's what the universe has set forth for yours truly, is to be battling rats. Yeah. Yep. So, okay. All the other stuff canceled in the meantime. No. All right. Hey, beginning of the year. Let's talk about what's really going on this year. We've got new fish tanks, okay? The fish room out here will be completed this year, period, end of story. There is no other option available for me other than to complete my new fish room. The new fish room will measure by 26 feet by 14 feet, I think, 13 feet. 1-3. I think 13 feet, yeah. That'll be enough space for this office to relocate. This office will be relocated. I will no longer be in my daughter's playroom, taking up part of my daughter's playroom. That's where I'm at right now, although this is a large room. Excuse me, I'm burping for some reason. this office will move. Then I will be able to have space to have guesterinos. What do you call them? Guests, right? We'll have space for guests. I'll have another microphone, another camera set up. Boom. Bob's your uncle. That's the big plan for the office, okay? The office will go in there. Most of the materials are all fine. I don't even really have to buy anything all that insane. That's all good, baby. That's all done. Then the fish room. The fish room will likely be in the background of that office so that at the very least we'll be able to... oh, you missed the teepee? It's right over there. The teepee's back there. Oh, the camera doesn't go back there. The teepee's just out of frame, so don't worry about the teepee. The teepee's still good. It's just out of frame. This is funny. I got my light. Look at this. The light's in the shot. I'm ruining the cinematic magic for you. Should I change the color? Let's change the color. What color should we go for today? Because to blend in the cardboard boxes in the back. We got some green that doesn't look all that fancy. Red. Well, the red was gross. Look how gross the red is. Ew, red's gross. All right, let's go for some hot pink. No. There's a lot of light spillage in here today because I don't have all the curtains drawn up or anything. Well, whatever. We got a light back here, and that's the very interesting part of the show. Let's go to purple. We'll go over to purple. We'll go into purple zone. There we go. Anyhow, the office will be moved. Not a big deal. I'm not really in a financial kerfuffle regarding the fish room build and the office build. That all is going to be handled pretty readily. Once I annihilate all rats from the planet, all the rats are going down, baby. That's what's happening. All right, I'm going back to the rats. Stay away from the rats. We're going to stop talking about rats, but you guys understand. The fish room. The fish room is actually going to have the 220-gallon tanks built by Jason Gregory with the 2 stands built by Jason Livingston. Very confusing, right? Is it Jason? Is it Jason? 2 Jasons. Mind blown. Livingston is the guy who makes all of the LED fish signage, right? You guys have seen them. Zenzo from Dazawa Tanks has one. Corey from Aquarium Co-op has a whole bunch of them. I have one that is going to go over the tank that it's going to go with the tank. It's got a whole... there's a plan here, you guys. There's a plan for where the tank is going to be, dude. The tank is going to be one of the 120s. So both of the 120s are going to be in the garage studio fish room. There we go. Does that make sense? Then I also have a competition size tank for the IAPC. What's the International Plant Layout Aquarium? What is this? What is the IAPLC is what it is. Yeah, I can never get that right because, I can never get that right because, So I'm going to be laying out an IAPLC aquarium, not to be entered, but I'm going to be making one of those. I'm going to show you guys how to do that, how to set it up, how to operate it, how to run it, blah, 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 Scooby-Doo. Yeah, and you guys are going to understand what that is because it'll be a video where I'll say stuff and show stuff with the footage. Oh, my God. Hold on. We've got gifted memberships. The Fish Tank Barn coming in strong. The Fish Tank Barn coming in strong and hot. Take us 89. And then we got to go to 90. 91, right? 92, 93. Okay, I can add, bros. And then we'll go 93 point... well, it's definitely got to be under, right? We got to go under 0.15. Okay, that feels good. Feels like a good number. Who's the 0.15? I don't know. Figure it out. You guys got to figure these things out. I don't have time for it. Okay. So we've got the competition tank that's going to go in. I'm also going to build I don't know what you call it, Aquascaping Dojo. Basically, I'm going to take a bunch of cabinet wood, and then I'm going to make an aquascaping space so that you guys can go, oh, hey, that's a way that I could make it out of some sheet material myself if you wanted to. Namely because I don't even know if you can order one somewhere. If you can order one somewhere, please tell me, because I would love to take a look or at least have a link to share to the people that can't do it themselves, right? There are a lot of people out there that don't have the ability to build things on their own, and some of those people have to buy things, right? So I don't have a link. I don't know if somebody even makes one. If they do, I'd love to hear about it. And I guess give them a free plug, hashtag free plug, right? We'll give them a hashtag free plug, hashtag no commission, hashtag not sponsored, hashtag whatever. Hashtag whatever, right? Let's put a hashtag whatever in the chat. Should we? Should we go hashtag, is whatever one word? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Somebody will know. Somebody owns a dictionary, and they'll tell us all about it because they're wizards. So we'll have the competition tank, the 120, the other 120, and the Aquascaping Dojo space. And then I'll have a small wall built from myself building it. And then behind that, I'm going to use as kind of a storage area for all of my tools so I don't... Because I don't know if you guys know, but I have to, every day, I have to take all my tools, load them up into my truck, and take them off to go work, right? I can't just leave my tools where I work. If you guys don't understand or know or anything like that, I've been on with the Aquarium Co-op for a long, long time now, about 48,000 years, I believe, is when we started doing stuff. I've been on as a full-time employee for, I don't know, however long now. And a lot of people have a lot of questions about what's going on over there. And I always kind of try to direct you guys to Corey's live stream, but simple synopsis of things that are going on for Aquarium Co-op this year. Less travel, more focus on products. The new store expansion is supposed to hit on the 10-year anniversary, whenever that happens to be. You may have to research it and figure out whenever that's going to be. I know Corey was talking about it on a live stream the other day, so that's the plan for right now, and there will probably be something really cool when that happens. I don't know what it'll be, but there will be something cool whenever that happens. And we'll probably have lots of fun doing that. As far as other Aquarium Co-op stuff going on, there's a new light coming out, I believe, which is either on the shelves now or very, very soon or whatever. So that's a pretty exciting thing, which is a pretty monumental undertaking, and I'm pretty proud of those guys for getting that done and bringing something to market. I'm not sure what the pricing or any of that kind of stuff is, so you'll have to pay attention to that. This was not sponsored moment in time, but people generally ask me on a pretty regular basis, like, hey, when's the store expansion going to open? Hey, when's this thing going to happen? Hey, when's that thing going to happen? There's the stuff I can tell you. And otherwise, I mean, I guess if you had like a regular question, I could probably answer that too. But, on the 10th, light comes out. So 1 week from now, the light comes out. So as far as I know, they're coming very soon. As far as like testing and all that stuff goes, I tested, I don't know, Generation 2 or something. I don't know. I forget which iteration I tested, but yeah, they'll work fine. I can tell you that off the top of my head that they will work fine. So no concerns there. But the one thing that does concern me is no built-in timer. That gets me. But you guys might not care. You guys might not be somebody who cares about that. Now me, I am somebody that cares about that. I like a timer. I don't know. But we'll see how well they work out. I'm sure I'll probably get one and test it out at some point, and we'll see how it is. Rebecca says, when they provide a paycheck, that is sort of the ultimate sponsorship. Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, so take everything with a grain of salt because I do work there. I am an employee. So, there's, needless to say, there's a bunch of stuff I can't tell you about and wouldn't tell you about. Realistically, you guys know me. I'm not ever gonna tell you like, hey, buy something that you don't want to buy. I can give you advice and go like, hey, here's the thing. If you want to try it out. If not, you don't have to. People ask me about a lot of stuff, and I'm like, here's the thing, but you buy it or not. I'm always of the viewpoint that there are a lot of products out there that will help you. There are a lot of products out there that will help you save time. But there are other workarounds if you need to save money, and time's not a concern for you. I always try to give advice based on that. Like, some people have a lot of time on their hands, and they're like, look, I want to tinker with something. I want to test something. I want to learn how to build this thing. I want to learn how to do that. And that's amazing, and I fully encourage that behavior. But if you're somebody that's like, hey, man, I work 70 hours a week. I don't have time. I just want my thing to be cool on the weekends when I can actually deal with it. Like, hey, then go this route. That's always just what I'm trying to give basic advice to people. I have nothing to sell. That's basically what it is. I'm selling memberships and Patreon if you guys want to sponsor content. Other than that, I'm not really selling anything. Bluetooth, I have timers galore. Attached remote. Is there an attached remote on it? I think there's an attached remote. I think there's like, I don't know. You guys will find out when it comes out. You guys will know more than me, generally. Yeah. So now that you guys know, like, what's the fish room plan, it's not going to be super extensive. I'm not going to set up the 240. I'm not going to set up the 150. I'm not going to set up the other 150. I'm not going to set up, what other tanks are out there? I have other tanks. Let's just be clear. I have other tanks. I'm not going to be setting all of those up because the plan is to build a detached building, right? Our plan is to build a detached building, and long term, that is going to be what every little step that we take is going to be in the direction of doing that, so that we can have an exterior shop that will have my office in it upstairs. There'll be a mother-in-law apartment built upstairs and a large shop. There's going to be a large shop on the bottom floor, a big open space that will ultimately be a large fish room. Or maybe we just decide I'm never going to keep a fish tank ever again for whatever reason, and I just do woodworking or something in there. I don't know, but that's the whole plan. Long term is to build an outbuilding that's going to house all of the fish stuff. We do want to put a mother-in-law apartment in it because, well, if you're expanding your property, you want to make sure that you expand your property in a way that really expands the value of the land. And if we're going to put another building out, you definitely want to have an additional dwelling unit built into it, because you're going to spend a lot of money and you want to have that value built into the money that you spent, right? So that stuff's all going to be pretty important, but like I've mentioned it a lot, even on this stream, like the rats in the crawl space, having to redo that, all the nonsense that we're having to deal with this house. They're all knowable problems, right? So these are all knowable and fixable problems. It's just a matter of getting over these hurdles to get to the next hurdles, to get to the next hurdles, to get to the next hurdles. So we're just going to continue down that route. And then speaking of what's going on with those tanks, So the first tank that I want to set up is one of the 120s. And it is, of course, going to be a Planet Aquarium. I mean, I don't expect anybody to think I don't expect anybody to think or understand that I'm not going to set up a Planet Aquarium. I'm only going to set up Planet Aquariums. There's really no reason. I'm never going to do a large cichlid tank with just rocks in it because it is a snooze fest for me. That is a super boring snooze fest. Even to the point where when I go and see somebody's like majestic 300-gallon rock tank with the cichlids in it, I mean, I could probably look at it for a half an hour or an hour, sort of uninterrupted, and be down with viewing someone else's big project. But for me personally, there's just nothing to do there other than clean the water and feed the fish, which you do a lot of cleaning and you do a lot of feeding and a lot of stressing out about the fish fighting with each other. So that to me has never been a really enjoyable experience. So I'm never going to do that. I'm likely to not get back into saltwater. It would take I think at this point it would take like a monumental sponsorship or something. Like some company would have to come in and be like, here's the tank and the stand and all the equipment and the salt and the RODI and the salt mixing station and everything. We're going to build it out, and here's $8,000 and freaking lights and all this nonsense for me to really go down that road. I do know a lot about reef aquariums. I know a lot about salt aquariums. I've kept a lot of salt aquariums in my day, but I'm probably not going to be going down that road, barring, like I said, some kind of monumental sponsorship. And I have zero intent to pursue or even have a conversation with that unless somebody was to literally just walk up with like a briefcase of cash, right? So, if anybody's ever expecting me to do a reef tank again, the likelihood is very small. Although you never know. You never know. 5 years from now, I could get the crazy itch, and maybe Olivia wants a saltwater tank or something like that because kids have a tendency to start screaming about Nemo, right? They're going to be like, Nemo, I need a Nemo. Oh, my God, I'm freaking out. I need a Nemo so bad. So it's possible, but very unlikely. And I really don't think I don't see an expectation of me doing a reef tank this year, even written down in pencil. You know what I mean? It's probably not going to happen. So to those people that are upset by me not keeping a reef tank anymore, I'm sorry. My apologies to you. It's not you. It's me. Right? It's not you. It's me. I'm the one that doesn't want to keep a reef tank, so I'm sorry. But I really, I just, the cost and the maintenance and doing maintenance on both is what really, really, really trips it up for me. Because let's say I have a bunch of tanks and I spend 5 hours a week looking at them, trimming in them, doing water changes, cleaning things, doing whatever, just basic maintenance. Suddenly that number doubles because of having to do double of the stuff, right? Like I got to do salt-specific stuff, then I got to do freshwater-specific stuff. And that really starts to cut into time on two levels. It's either it cuts into family time or it cuts into sleep time. And those, I ain't cutting into those to keep a saltwater tank. It's just not even worth it, right? So that's where I'm at on the saltwater stuff. But my initial plans for one of the 120s, we can talk a little bit about that. Now, some people that are purists or whatever you are, I'm not sure who you are. There are some people that will scream at me on the internet because I'm a bad guy or something for making free content for them. But one of the tanks will be wrong as far as the plants go. Okay? The plants will be all wrong. The plants will be from around the world, and I don't care because I just frankly don't care. I frankly don't care if somebody is like, This plant is from Africa, and this plant is from Asia, and beepity beepity scoopity doo. I will do the same thing that I always do with all the stupid comments. I just drop the banhammer on them, and bye-bye. See you later. I have no time. I got no time for your negativity. I got enough negativity in life with breast cancer existing, with rats in the crawl space, with just regular chaos on the day-to-day basis. I got no time. I got no time for your negativity. My apologies. But that's just how it's got to be. Sorry. Boo-hoo. As Justin Timberlake would say, was it Cry Me a River? Was that Justin Timberlake? Cry me a river. Right? That's Justin T Lake, right? That's the guy. Is that correct? Oh, I wonder if it's a remake. Oh my God, is it a cover? Is it a cover? I don't know. Where is it? How's the song go? Play. Play. What's wrong with you? Pause. Play. Or play. I'm gonna listen to this song after. God, I'm gonna get down with some Justin Timberlake this afternoon. You feel me? You feel me? That guy's cool. That's a cool dude. Okay. Yeah. It's a Justin T. Yeah. That's a cool dude. You got to admit. Justin Timberlake is a cool dude. Period. End of story. Anybody want to fight me over it? I'll be in Tallahassee next week. Find me there. Yeah. Jimmy P's Aquarium said, I agree with you on just rocks in a tank. Yeah, it's a snooze fest for me, and that's the big problem. Like the cichlid tanks with a lot of rocks, it's all great and everything, but you know how it is. Will M is a member for 30 months. Look at that. That is a level of dedication. Will, thank you very much for being a member forever. Says hello, all. Well, hello, Will. Good to see you. Joel G is a member for 13 months with the surprises. Okay. Well, surprised, but Joel G mentioned that he was on a beach during a storm right now, but it is summertime out there, so it's probably warm. It's probably a little bit warm. Shout out to everybody who was here early. Joe Coffee, 187 Ghost, Frank Dominguez. Who else was early? Mikey Fishy, Rebecca Lowry. There were some early folks here. I had to scroll up and check it out. If you didn't hit the like button, you're supposed to, I guess. YouTube just sent me a reminder to be like, they were like, hit the like button, I guess. I don't know. Whatever. And it's like, hey, remind your people to the like button. You know how it is. Aqua Zen Garden says, lol, catch me outside. How about that? That kid's rich. Just screaming at Dr. Phil or whatever. Sometimes that's all you need. All you need is just one appearance on Dr. Phil. Go insane, and then, boom, you're famous, right? I love JTS, work with Chris Stapleton. Chris Stapleton. Isn't Chris Stapleton the country guy? Isn't that right? Let's look up Chris Stapleton real quick. Yeah. Okay. I had it right. I had it correct in my head. That's good. Sometimes I'm right. Oh, I'm younger than he is. Look at that. Oh my God, we have the same birthday. Chris Stapleton and I have the same birthday. Oh my God, it's so hot right now. Oh my God. We got the same birthday. Isn't that cool? Welcome to 2023. You've learned something new. Oh yeah, that's the correct wording, Steve C. Yeah, cash me outside. That's right. It's actually cash me outside, right? You could fart and sneeze and become rich nowadays. That's true. You definitely want to get hit in the crotch and fart and then fall on the ground. And has anybody ever seen that? There's a great short video where a guy that's what it is. He's got like a power band. He's got like a power band, and he like power bands with his foot, and it slips off his foot, smacks him in the crotch, he farts and falls down. And so I think it's hilarious because Vicky and I, whenever we find that video, it's getting shared with each other. It's coming at you. It's coming at Vicky, and then Vicky sends it to me like 10 days later, and we have a good time, and we laugh, and we just can't even control ourselves. Then we probably start sneezing and farting, and it's a whole thing. Okay, so back to the 120. So the main 120, a lot of plant fanatics are going to lose their cookies. They're going to lose their cookies over the fact that I'm going to have a bunch of mixed plants and whatever. Those people can just be quiet. They can just But my plan is to go Myanmar with the fish. Okay? I want to keep the fish from Myanmar, at least species-wise. If I can get tank raised, I have always told people tank raised are the best fish ever for aquarium fish keepers. Always get aquacultured fish if you possibly can. If you can get aquacultured fish, get them. Pay the extra $1, pay the extra $2, whatever it is. Stop buying wild fish and saving $1. Buy aquacultured fish and spend the extra $1, okay? Just do that. Your overall joy will increase well past the $1 or $2, okay? Just trust me on this one. It's true, and it's a fact, so just deal with it. Oh, my God, Jack Betts has become a returned member from off the edge of the flat earth. It is possible, folks. It is possible to go right off the edge of the flat earth, but still return. Return to membership. Jack Betts, welcome back, Jack. Good to see you back. That's so strong. It's so strong. It's unbelievable. So, as far as trying to keep fish origin from in Myanmar, what did I put down here? I wrote, this planet tank will not be limited in plants, but I do want to keep fishes mostly from Myanmar regional area. There's a look at this. This guy forgot a "the" in there. What a dingus. Wait, it's me. Oh, crap. Okay, it's me. I'm a dingus. Yeah, my apologies. That means the sumo loach is on the table, okay? I can never say Latin stuff very well. The Schistura balteata, and I think I got that right. I could be close. Oh, my God. I hit the wrong button. We got to go back. No, I wanted to hit the copy button, not the cut button. Sometimes when you highlight an area and you go like, I want to copy this. And then you hit cut instead, you know? Sometimes, yeah. Will M says, can we get back to 100? I mean, the goal is to be at 1,000, okay? If we get to 1,000, I'll start live streaming and making more videos. That's the rule. We have a rule, and that's the rule. I'll expand my work hours here. Will continue my job, because it's not quite enough to be continuing to not do my job anymore, but I'll move my schedule and do a different schedule. Yeah. I think it's pronounced Myanmar, right? Am I saying that wrong? Oh, my God. Let's find out. Where's the robot? You could say Burma. I think it's Myanmar, right? Am I saying that wrong? Oh, my God. Let's find out. Let's find out. Here we go. We can find it. We can find it. Play.
Myanmar.
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 Oh, my God. It is Myanmar.
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 I've always heard it said Myanmar. Okay.
Myanmar.
Myanmar. Okay. Word. Myanmar. Okay, we'll say it. We'll try. We'll try our best. We'll try our best. I am an old dog and new tricks and all that, right? You know what I'm talking about. Old dogs, new tricks. Right? Yeah. Pictures, please show us the fish in question. Oh my God, really? Okay. Oh, that is a good point. Let's do it. Why not? Why not do it? I don't have any pictures of this fish. I don't own any of the rights of these pictures, so please, 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 just chill, dude. Somebody gonna smash me with some copyright infringement. Save image as. Oh my God. Do I need to open it? Really? Do 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 do. Let's close that. Okay, save image as. Here we go. Here we go. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get it. I swear. Then we'll have to go over here, and we gotta go add source, image file, and make fart noises into the microphone. Probably blow out somebody's ear balls. Why is it not at the top? It must be all the way at the bottom. Oh my God. This file is huge. This file be huge, bros. Do 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 boo do 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 woo. Why is it not in here? Sort by date modified. Oh my God. Romeo River. Okay, I guess that's not gonna work. Trying to find out where it saved that picture, but I don't know why I would have saved it somewhere else. What a goofy monster. Oh, it probably doesn't have a name. That's why. What's all the way up at the top here? It should just, oh my God. All right, let me find a different picture, guys. I'm sorry. Save image as. Can I do this? Sumo Loach. Okay. JPEG image. Save. Into this file. Did I save it into this file? Let's go back here. We'll reopen the file. And it's not in there. Where am I saving it to? What is going on here? Oh my God. Oh, that's why I'm saving it. Okay, okay. No, let's name this something else. Oh, stop. Oh my God. It's right here. Okay, there. What? Stupid computer. Sumo Loach. Save. Appear in the file. Yes? Yes, yes? Oh my God, guys. We are computing. We are computing so hard today, bros. We're just smashing it out here. We're just crushing it, smashing it. Look at how good this quality of image is. Look at how good this is. What did it save it as? Oh my God, it's the worst image of all time. It's like, it's not, oh my God. Okay, anyhow, here's a Sumo Loach. This is what it looks like after I went through all of that. We did great here, guys. We're doing great today. Nobody even said anything that whole time. Myanmar. Okay, Myanmar is where this fish hails from. This is not my picture, so you're going to have to chill on me. My bad. I probably could have found pictures ahead of time, but it's almost live stream friendly for people to go like, hey, get me a picture, and then I go get one, and look at this. Somebody shot this with a potato. Somebody was like, I'm out here, I'm going to take some pictures on my potato, right? They're just out there potatoing it up, wondering, I don't know what they're wondering. I would imagine I would imagine they're having a hard time. Whatever it is that they're doing, they're probably having a hard time. This one has a watermark all over it, but it definitely looks like to be a better image. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go like this. Okay, hold on. Instead of putting a picture up here, what we're going to do, we're going to remove that, and we're going to throw it right in the garbage because somebody shot that. We're going over to the screen. Where's the screen button now? Who knows where that is? Smart selection. Here we go. We'll just go like this. Okay. There we go. Image search looks like this, right? This is what they look like. Aquarium glazer. Shot on a potato. They filmed it on a potato. I wonder if I can extend. What if I go like this? Oh, it doesn't let me do that. Okay, well. Anyhow, they're little guys. Okay. All right, I'm removing this. I'm sorry. I don't like it. I don't like it. They don't get big. I think they get to 6 centimeters about. Inch and a half, 2 inches. They're little guys. They don't get big. They don't get big. They're not aggressive. They're really friendly. They're hard to find though. This is going to be the fish that's hard to find. The sumo loaches are going to be hard to find. They're not the easiest easiest little guys to find. But hopefully with a couple of phone calls, I'll be able to get some in at some point, get them quarantined and get them added in. Though we do have some other options here as far as the little guys on the bottom go. We're going to have some Pandagaras. If you guys don't know what Pandagaras are, the Gara flavatra, you know, am I saying that right? Who knows? Probably not, but here you go. Boom, here's the spelling. And we also have the idea of some Botia cubatai, which is the polka dot loaches. So it's going to be one of these three, right? And I think I'm going to go with Pandagaras because they are awesome. Okay, I got to tell you. Pandagaras are a dope fish, and I really like them a lot. And every time I see them, I'm like, got to tell you, a little excited about this little fish. Little excited about these little guys. They look really cool. They're yellow and black. As you guys know, I have lots and lots of bee tattoos on me, so I feel like they go in there. They are from Myanmar, and they will probably fit in this tank really well. So those are my two sort of ideas. Most of their water conditions are where mine sit at regularly. Reasonably easy temps because we're just talking about 72, 75. I don't need to go crazy high. It's very easy for me to maintain 72 to 75. That's pretty easy. I don't need a ton of heating and all that kind of nonsense. They all like all of these fish like slightly acidic water, and they work well in planted aquariums. They want more plants. All of them like more plants. Now, some people would say, well, hey, you got some Pandagaras in there, and that's pretty great. And maybe you got a couple of sumo loaches in there, and that's pretty great. But everything's just going to be hanging around pretty much the bottom of the tank, isn't it? And I'm going to tell you, okay, the main feature fish that is going to be in this aquarium is the celestial pearl danio. That is going to be the main feature fish, okay? That's going to be 100% the feature fish. I'm probably going to order hundreds of them, and that's probably going to be the biggest deal with setting up this tank. I have all the equipment, have all the lights, have all the tank, have the stands, have all that kind of stuff. The biggest deal is going to be ordering a monumental amount of celestial pearl danios. And some people would say, hey, if you're ordering that many, wouldn't you want to breed some of them? True. We probably do want some of them to breed, but if you've got 200 or 300 egg scattering fish in an aquarium, it is really easy. It is really easy to get way too many fish in a tank. Now all of a sudden you got stuff to figure out with all this extra fish. All these extra fish. And I'm going to be real frank with you guys. I'm going to be real straight with you guys. I like hooking people up with fish, but the big problem is if I start hooking people up with fish, I start undercutting people that are selling fish, and then the animosity starts to grow. The animosity gets all, people get mad, right? Like, this dude's just giving away fish. He's got a YouTube channel. I just got to blow up, right? You know, and people get super mad. Next thing you know, I got to argue with people at some convention or whatever. And that's not an enjoyable experience for me, but it's a simple solution here, guys. A simple solution is put some loaches, put some garas in the tank, and you'll get some babies. They won't get every single egg that is out there, but you will get a lot less, right? Because they're going to be hopping around and bebopping around the tank and doing all that stuff and just eating up all them extra eggs that we won't have to worry that much about it, right? We can all feel reasonable in the fact of going like, hey, we don't have to worry about all these babies all the time. We're just going to have some and hopefully maintain a realistic turnover of fish, right? So that's, I think that's really where this tank is going to lie. It's really where it's going to be. Obviously plant oriented, probably constantly changing the plants, especially like how I used to. And that's probably going to be the focus there. And I don't see any other reason to not, because this is a tank I want to do. It's not even, I don't even think it's a secret. It's not a secret. It really isn't. Yeah. Not going to breed them for the co-op. No. I have no interest in breeding fish for wholesale or even retail sale. Turning around and selling the fish. It's, you know, the big issue is like, I know how to do it and I could do it. But it's a loss. It's a loss. Let me put it that way. You're losing money. You're spending more money and more time, and you're losing money on it. And I don't find the extreme joy in fish breeding that a lot of other people do. I find a lot of joy in the ecosystem existing. Does that make sense? I like the ecosystem to be, let's say I put 50 fish into a tank. And after 2 years of those fish being healthy, existing in a tank, breeding, doing that kind of stuff, and you have 55 of the same fish or whatever, right? And you go like, well, we're maintaining a population, we're continuing to exist in a certain in the way that I definitely enjoy existing within the hobby, right? Is that I like to enjoy an ecosystem that is sustaining itself and doing well and being healthy, as opposed to putting a bunch of mops into an empty tank where the fish are in there and they're sort of forced to breed, right? Breed, you fish. Take the eggs out, put them into a thing, put them into a hatchery, get the bubbler going on it, get them hatched, feed them a food. You got to be there feeding them food 4 times a day, 6 times a day, depending on the fish, all that kind of stuff. That's just, I don't find that to be enjoyable. The stress of it and everything is definitely not something that I have like, wow, I find so much joy in being stressed out and breeding fish. And then on top of it, like, are you really, you're stressed out also because like, what's the pay you're going to get back? Like, what's the return you're going to get back? Because that's what breeding is. Breeding is a for-profit situation, right? Now I know that it's total clickbait. It's a total clickbait situation where you're like, I made $100,000 breeding in my apartment or whatever. Like, I understand that lots of young people are going to click on that video because they got to find out what's this guy's secret about breeding in his apartment or whatever. And the reality is like they live in a super crappy apartment in the middle of nowhere with no one else living in it, and just fish tanks all over the place, and it probably smells terrible in there. Let's be honest. And that's the secret. The secret is sacrifice every aspect of life, and then you could make some money doing a thing, which also is not even really verifiable because we're like just taking their word for it, right? If you put a few CPDs in the tank and then remove them, you'll have tons of fry in no time. That's how I did it. Yeah, so I am going to put a lot of CPDs in the tank. They will be scattering eggs and leaving eggs all over the place. The way that I'm probably going to do it is have the Pandagaras in there, or a loach, or a sneaky loach, a sneak loach. That is going to be really the way to maintain like this, instead of getting an excess amount of fry, right? You don't want an excess amount. You do want some to make it, just sort of like in nature, right? You want 1,000 eggs and 18 of them make it to full grown, right? Obviously those numbers are whatever, but you get the idea, right? Like when salmon spawn, there's tens of thousands of them coming up the river. They're all laying 1,000 eggs or whatever, right? But they definitely aren't all making it to become a full salmon, right? So it's they're doing the carpet bombing technique, right? They're going to drop a lot of opportunity out there, and some of them will make it to adulthood, right? Definitely not all of them. But I definitely could set up a situation where you could get 100 or 200 CPDs in a tank. It's a well-planted tank. There's a lot going on in there. And before you know it, you've got 1,200 fish in there. And then it's, I got to net them out and then find somewhere to take them, because it's very difficult to maintain a giant population of fish in a small tank. And when I say 120-gallon tank is a small tank, it's a small tank as far as breeding projects go for a large amount of fish. So my thought process here when I'm working through like what I want to set up, I want to set up an environment that can sustain itself without, without seriously interjecting the thievery of a bunch of fish, right? Does that make sense? I know that I'm not stealing them, but it's basically, I gotta net out a whole bunch of population and get them out of here, right? So my goal would be that to maintain a healthy population. Now, maybe I end up putting in too many Pandagaras. Maybe I put in too many sumo loaches or whatever. And I noticed that like there are never any fry. Okay, much easier to take out some of the loaches, take out some of the garas, and move them to a different tank, and then let the population go. Or I could also net out, 20 of the Danios, 40 of the Danios, put them in a tank, let them go crazy in there, then take them and bring them back. But, the goal, the idea, the part of the hobby for me is to set up and maintain an environment that is going to continue, interacting with itself, as opposed to the interjection of like massive changes from an outside source, which would be me, like netting out a ton of fish. Now, one of the things that I think people would find a little bit interesting is that green spot puffers are from Myanmar, right? They are from there, and I've, in the past, here's what's crazy. I started to think like, it was like 15 years ago or something. In the past, we raised a lot of green spot puffers. They are an amazing fish. I love them. They are very cool. Now, the only downside is that they do eventually want to go to brackish/salt. Mostly brackish more than full salt, but they can go full salt, and they don't mind it. That being said, I don't want to deal with the transition. As you guys know, I have a Scootadenai, I don't know, I say it wrong because I'm not German, puffer, a.k.a. the Congo puffers, right? Spotted Congo puffer, not the green spot puffer, which is, I'm sure, confusing for most people. But the possibly puffy the Shoutouts puffer might go in that tank because I don't have anybody for him to breed with. I think he's a male. I don't have a female or multiple females for him to breed with, so it's probably going to be like just having Puffy as a pet, right? I don't know if I'm ever going to breed him. I don't know. The possibility of finding some more spotted Congo puffers is probably not. I mean, I can find them. They're quite expensive. Let's be honest here. They're quite expensive, so I don't know if I'm going to go down the road of like trying to find 2 females at $300 a piece, $200, $250 a piece, or something like that. I don't know if I'm ever going to do that. But worst case scenario, if I had to take Puffy and put him in this tank, he would fit right in. Water parameters are totally fine for him, and you would be able to just cruise around in there and be a feature fish. But the downside is then I'd have to be maintaining snails in that tank, which is not something I really want to concern myself with all that much, is maintaining the snails in that tank and then maintaining the cleanup of that. So my thought process has been the other 120 will most likely end up having Puffy, the spotted Congo puffer, in it. It's obviously going to be a planted aquarium. I'm still up in the air exactly what I want to do as far as the setup in the other tank. Like, I know that I want to have some differentiation. I want to have some different stuff. I haven't settled on the area that I want to focus on. I don't know if I want to stick to kind of a South American sort of theme or a Asian theme. I'm not sure yet. Myanmar obviously is in Asia, so it probably would make sense for me to kind of go South American-ish type stuff going on in the other tank, so to keep the variety and give myself some opportunity to kind of play around with some other fish. Big Shrimpin', a.k.a. Steve C., says, do you keep your other fish with your Congo spotted puffer? Yes, I do. He does not care about other fish. He just doesn't care. He's like, whatevs, bro. I've never seen him attack another fish. Most other fish just swim away from him, probably because they're like, oh crap, here comes that guy. And I don't think it's necessarily has anything to do with him eating them. He just is chilling, or he just is like a threatening looking fish as far as they're concerned, right? So they normally just swim away. Preston John says, I'll send you some more. Ooh, we might have to figure that out. I'll be coming to Arizona this year. I think we're going to Sedona to go up the canyon, and I'm trying to set aside like a day or maybe like a day and a half or something like that to come visit Preston and fam, or Preston and just Fish Room. I don't know. I don't know if we're bringing our daughter yet or not. I don't know. I'm of the inclination to leave our daughter home, but Vicky wants to travel with Olivia so that Olivia has a chance to travel. And I'm like, but she's 4, right? Like, what's the deal? Oh, speaking of Olivia, it just reminds me of a comment that I read earlier. Kiwi Mamo says, what age do kids start school there? Will Olivia be off to school at the end of the year or not until 2024? Kiwi Mamo, shout out to one of my other New Zealander fans, which, it's always shocking to me where I have like a bunch of fans somewhere, right? Like New Zealand or Sweden. I'm like, how many people are in New Zealand? Like 20, 30? Like I'm hitting at a very high percentage in some of these countries, which is all the more reason I got to visit, right? I got to visit. That's all. I want to go to New Zealand so bad. And I know that people in New Zealand are probably like, whatevs, bro, but it's a thing. I really do. I really want to go. But I definitely want to do a fish room tour with Preston. I definitely want to get some video there. We could probably do some interviews with each other. We could do a back and forth interview. Ask me a question, I'll ask you a question, and then we'll see how much of an idiot I really am. So as far as Olivia starting school. So Olivia is 4. She just turned 4 not that long ago. Her birthday is in the cutoff, so that she won't be starting school until 2024, which is sort of a bummer in the fact that like we have to pay for another year of daycare, which is about as much as a lot of people's mortgages. It is her daycare is very expensive, and it makes my eyes bug out whenever I think about it. But it is what it is. Like we need a good daycare, and B, one that like it has to be good, and it has to operate at the times while Vicky and I are at work, right? So it is a great daycare. We really like the people there, but it is shockingly expensive. So that's the real eye opener, right? Is it like, oh my God? But Olivia is on the cusp of ages that have been found to do really well because when you're 5 years old, if you're, say, 9 months older than everyone else, that is a giant difference, right? That is a huge difference. If you're 45 years old and you're 9 months older than one of your coworkers, there's zero difference. There's no real vibe difference there. You don't really have that much more experience or anything like that. But in the developmental time of your life, that's a huge advantage to being ahead of the other kids, right? So that's the takeaway that I'm clinging on to maintain my sanity of just how much daycare costs. And so that's a reality of that situation that we all have to wrap our minds around as a little family here. But it is what it is, bros. What am I gonna do? I can't change her birth date, and I can't change the world, at least until we get 5,000 members. If we get 5,000 members, I'll go on a quest to change the world dramatically. But we're only at 94, so that's the thing. You know what I always say about this coffee? You know what I always say about this coffee? It's freaking delish. I love coffee. It's delicious. Catherine Thomas, what do you have? Not going to breed them from a cook. All good. I just figured they were a byproduct. You have an option. Yeah, so if I do overbreed something and I end up with an excess, I normally just give them away. Yeah, like I don't. Yeah, I'm not so worried about the money-making prospect of fish and plants. I suppose I could just make like a whole series of YouTube videos about how I've made $1 million growing plants in my basement or whatever. Hi. Okay. You gotta get your stuff. Okay, really quick. Oh, you guys going for a walk?
That's why I'm really quick.
Okay.
Because we're in a meeting. I love you.
I love you too. You're my favorite. Hey, can you shut the door, please? Thank you. The little peanut running around in the background. Yeah. We gotta watch out. She runs around. So to enter the school system is an annual intake, not a quarterly. Yeah. The intake is on an annual basis. So the age cutoff, the cutoff date per years going in is August 31st. Like if your birthday is before August 31st, you're going to go in the next year. But hers is right at the beginning of November. So she's going to be one of the older kids. She's not going to be the oldest kid or anything like that, but she'll be one of the older kids. It's a lot of advantage over other kids. Like I was born in April, I was always like one of the young kids in school. So, you know, that's why I'm so dumb. You know, I'm telling you, it's just because of that. Speak of the child, and there she is. That's right. She's always around. She's always lurking. She's like in a pile of stuffed animals or something, just gonna pop out. Yeah, we don't have a quarterly intake or anything like that. No. So, some schools in the U.S. are in a year-round. We have some year-round schools, but they just, for whatever reason, it's become like an impossible task to just make schools all year round. Like, there's no reason to have this giant break in the summer for kids. It would make sense instead of having the two full months? Is it 2 full months? Let me think here. Because June. So what is it? It's 2.5 months. Yeah. So it's like 10 weeks. It's a 10-week period in the summer that the kids have off, which is ridiculous. And I think it should be year-round school for the kids. There should be like a 2-week winter break, a 2-week spring break, and a 2-week summer break, and a 2-week fall break, or, you know, however that shakes out of how many days that they're supposed to be around, instead of having this monumental break during just the summertime. It's kind of crazy because, like, or, you know, maybe it's 3 weeks here, 3 weeks there. I don't know how you schedule it, but it should just be year-round. Like, there shouldn't be a part of the year where they're just, like, lounging around for months on end. It doesn't make any sense. I'm an April baby. My son is a March, and my husband is February. If you grew early, I think it's great to be younger. If you grew later or were petite, being older is really helpful. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Olivia's pretty petite. She's a pretty little gal. But she's wicked smart, and she's cute as hell, so I got a big... She's a bit of a handful. So, yeah, it's weird. It's a weird vibe. Weird vibe check on the daughter. You know what I mean? Like, it's just from a real standpoint. Like, she's very intelligent and she's very cute. Her face is very symmetrical. She has strong symmetry in her face. So yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, look at this. Image. Let's see. Oh yeah. So, like, here's one of the Christmas photos I took of Olivia. So, yeah, it's a problem. So this kid's going to be a nightmare. I'm just telling you. This kid growing up is going to be a power player of some kind. I don't know. And I'll be like, "Yeah, I'm just the dad guy. Don't worry about me. I'm over here." All of us grew very early. My 2-year-old wears 5T clothes. Oh, wow. I think Olivia wears 6T, I think. 6T, I think, is where she's at. She's pretty small, so. When I give fish away for free, I'm always worried they might not be valued and end up as Oscar food. Yeah, and that's also the issue, is that, like, if you give away a bunch of fish, it could potentially, like, deflate the market a little bit just from a local standpoint, though. But I wouldn't worry that much about it, because most of those people that are, like, buying fish off of Craigslist or Facebook or OfferUp or whatever app you guys use, those are the people that aren't really buying stuff at the store, I wouldn't think. So I don't think it's really going to screw things up as far as the market value. But giving away free fish might become fish food, and that's depends on your. I think it really depends on your personal stance on things, whether that's bad or not. But you could always try to vet if somebody's going to do that or not. But you never know. People are liars constantly. You know, can you trust them? There's a lot of people that are blatant liars. So, you know, maybe you just have to maybe you just have to, like, I don't know, settle yourself on the fact that, like, Oscars would eat them in the wild. You know, I don't know. Originally here, school was worked around busy farming times because a large part of the population was rural. It's changing now. We had 3 terms, 4 now, as intake was beginning of the terms. I would argue that it has nothing to do with farming. I would argue that because Kiwi, I could be wrong, and maybe it is the case in New Zealand, but that was the old wives' tale told here in the United States forever. Like when I was a kid, they always said, "Oh, we don't have school in the summertime because the farmers need farm hands." Right now, here's the deal. I don't know if you've ever had like a 9-year-old doing work for you. 9-year-olds are freaking useless, okay? They could do some stuff, but they're probably going to create like a really dangerous situation, especially around machinery, hard labor, any of that kind of stuff. I don't know very many 9-year-olds that can really move around that much material or anything. That being said, the old wives' tale has always been the farmers need their kids. They need their kids there. They need the farm work, okay? In reality, once I went to go like look that up and be like, what is this all about? What is this big summer break about? So in these United States in which I live, in New York City is where the schooling began. That's where school was existing. Now, when school was existing back then, and this is like the late 1800s, basically, school was funded by the wealthy. The wealthy kids would go to school. The other kids would be able to go to school also. There was no publicly funded school in the United States. So the rich kids went to school. The rich parents paid to have teachers there. Back in the 1890s, 1880s, all that time, there was nothing at all like air conditioning. The best thing you had was open a window, basically, right? New York City in the summer is hot, sweltering, disgusting place nowadays. But if you remove about 150 years of time, New York City had nothing but horse and carriage running about the streets, to the point where horse manure removal was just an industry within itself, right? So you think hot, stank, horse manure everywhere, bugs everywhere, all sorts of nonsense. Guess who would leave New York City? The wealthy people would leave. The wealthy people would leave town and go upstate to a lake house, to Nantucket, to whatever place they would go, because they would go chill by the water somewhere where it was much cooler and much less stank. So the wealthy would leave. The teachers wouldn't be able to get paid because there was no pay for the teachers. So the poor kids would leave. There's no school for them to go to. And so, as Catherine says, I mean, even logically, planting is in April and May, and harvesting is September through October. Generally speaking, that's accurate. So the middle of the summertime, there really isn't that much farm work to be doing, right? Now, Kiwi says, farm kids did work. I did. Remember when I went to high school, my dad had a big argument with the school because I was needed to work on the farm. Now, that is probably accurate, and I'm not saying that I'm not like calling you out or nothing. What I would say is that is what we would call like anecdotal evidence that, like, yes, you had that experience, and I bet there are lots of other people that had that experience. But like, for instance, in the United States, if you go, well, 50,000 kids needed to be home, you go like, well, there's 340 million people in the United States. If we're talking about 50,000 people out of 340 million, and we're going to set up our whole entire educational system around this small group of people, that would make no sense, right? That logically it makes no sense. But if we're talking about like what actually happened in the U.S., which I hopefully I'm kind of paraphrasing what's going on. I'm not giving you specific dates or anything, but that's what happened. Like, the wealthy would leave. The school teachers, there would be no pay or anything like that. So the school teachers would leave because they'd have to go to work at another job, to pay their rent, and the poor kids would go back to doing whatever they were doing, being newsies or whatever. But that's why the educational system in the U.S. is set up that way. The wealthy people just used to leave during the summertime, and so there was no teacher. There was no one to pay for a teacher, right? Thinking back to the 1700s or whatever, when a kiddo could walk, they could feed chickens or whatever. It's true. They could do that back in the 1700s, but there was no such thing as school back in the 1700s, realistically. Not even remotely, not even anything that looks like anything that's going on today. So just to keep that in mind. Most kids in the 1700s were just going to do what their parents did because it was generally the only thing that they learned how to do, realistically. That's so far back. Their lives look nothing like ours today. So, yeah. We resist change whenever possible, apparently. Yes, that's true. Oftentimes, like, the way that we do things is just the way we do things, and then you really don't want to do it at all. So it was a wives' tale in the United States forever, my whole entire growing up, that kids were supposed to go home and help with the farm. But the reality is like most farms don't really want kid labor there, right? Like, especially in this day and age. I mean, you got a 10-year-old kid running a tractor and there's an accident. Like, everyone's getting sued into oblivion and going into bankruptcy because you put your child in a position that put their lives and other people's lives in danger. So it's really not something. You would want to hire people to work on the farm. Like, if you have a farm, hire people, run a regular business. It's all good. Yeah, the mid-1880s is when we started to see formal education in the U.S. Yeah, but, yeah. Sue Thao has showed up to say, Corvus, how do you feel about flower horns or hybrid man-made fishes? I feel nothing. I feel ambivalent. I don't have a criticism of hybrids. I don't have a criticism. People are raising their fish the way they want to raise their fish, and it's really what it boils down to. I don't really like flower horns. Maybe if I really liked them, I would have like a real strong opinion and start shouting it from a rooftop somewhere. But I don't really enjoy them. I mean, there's like Foo the Flower Horn channel who got super popular. I didn't understand the appeal of the content. I was like, it's like a flower horn video. Okay. Like, it never piqued my interest all that much. So yeah, I just don't really have like a strong opinion about flower horns or hybrid fish. I think a hybrid fish is fine to me, of any kind, right? Because, I don't see a downside, right? Like, let's say we go all the way up to the top. Let's say we go up to the top of species hybridizing, right? People. I have no issue with people hybridizing, right? I have no issue with that. If, like that, like a great example was put out there, and I forget who it was. I think it was Bill. What's his name? Bill the Science. Who's the Bill the Science guy? Bill Nye. Bill Nye the Science guy. I saw one of the greatest responses of all time. Okay. So here's one of the greatest responses to humans, right? If you take the shortest person from China and you have them have sex with the tallest person from Nigeria, what do you get? And they were like, I don't know, I'm stumped. And he goes, a human. Right? That's a human. That would make a human. There's no weird like there's no weird like crazy games we're playing here. Because he goes, we're all the same species, right? Now, interspecies breeding of fish, obviously, can create things like when a donkey and a horse breed, and then you get a mule. But Mules are sterile, and they can't breed any further. Most hybridized fish are sterile, so they can't necessarily breed any further. So I really don't see any harm there, right? Like mules are great animals, for instance, and donkeys are horrible, and horses are not as durable, right? So I feel like I'd rather own a mule than a donkey or a horse because I could get a lot of use in a, I guess use is the wrong word, but like we could have a really copacetic relationship, you know what I'm saying? Like we could have a cohesive vibe, right? So I don't think hybridizing is a bad thing. I guess my mom talks about detasseling corn as a summer job when she was in high school, but farms these days have plenty of dangerous equipment. So tasseling corn still exists. That is something, but they don't hire children to do that. They hire just young adults, like college kids. College kids in the Midwest for about 2 weeks out of the year, they'll get paid whatever amount of money. It's not very much money, but it's a great thing. It's a great way to go work outside. Work outside for a couple weeks and make a paycheck detasseling corn. And they all do it, but it's not children, right? You're not bringing in 9-year-olds. You're not bringing in 7-year-olds, like your 7-year-old kid to go be detasseling corn. No, you bring in college kids that they just want to make some money for a couple weeks and then they can go back to doing whatever they were doing. And you not have to worry about it, right? You don't have to worry about liability, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So, like, children are not good at labor. Let's just be honest here. They're not good at jobs, right? They're not even good at, like, not spilling food on the ground while they eat, right? Yeah. I think flower horns are fugly, but that's just me. From Rebecca Lowry. Yeah, I mean, I don't have, like, the appeal. I understand that, like, they have a lot of appeal for certain people. They just don't appeal to me. So I'm always kind of like, wow, look at that big flower horn. Cool. You got any, like, weird little tiny thing that has blue spots on it? Yeah, that's where I chill. As far as the other tank setup, I'm still sort of writing the little thing about the other tank, but generally the other tank is going to be puffy and a really intensely difficult to keep. What's the word? Plecostomus. That's kind of where I'm going to go there. I don't want to spoil it for you. But it'll probably be a pretty cool plecos, and hopefully see if I can kind of get them breed a little bit. Chris Howell says, so taking out all of the rats sounds like a good metaphor for life obstacles. It's metaphoric and literal. It's both. Actually, Chris, you're right. It is both. It is a metaphor and literal. Take the rats, throw them out in the ocean, and see how they do out there. That's where I'm at right now. I'm not 100% sure. But I think a rat might have gotten in. I don't know. But I'm not 100% sure. So I'm bringing in some pros. I'm bringing in the pros, okay? Yeah. Oh, my God. Chris Howell's watching the replay from the beginning right now. He's not watching live. He's on the replay crew, but he's in the chat. This is wild. We're going to be doing some meta stuff. Can we do some meta stuff with Chris? Hopefully they become a member and we can do some meta stuff with them. Let's check in on Discord. Is anybody over on Discord wanting to call in? I'm going to pop into the green room. And what am I doing? Push that button. There we go. All right. I'm up in the green room just in case somebody wants to call in on the Discord today. Which country contains the majority of your favorite fish species? Oh, man, that is an intense question. I mean, it's really hard to... Oh, man, that would be hard to say. I don't know. Sue, I'm definitely going to have to think about that one. Because there's a lot of cool fish from the Amazon areas. Obviously, Brazil. Obviously, Peru. Yeah. That's That's a weird thing. That's yeah, I don't know. Huh. Like off the top of my head, I don't have a good answer, to be honest with you. But it is a really interesting question, and I'll have to think about it. Kind of like narrow it down. Obviously, Myanmar has like some really cool fish that I definitely want to go to. I know that like South America has just like a ton of cool stuff. Africa, like not as much. There's definitely a lot of cool stuff in Africa, but it just doesn't. I'm not as like transfixed by a lot of the stuff. I think it's probably a toss up of somewhere like Thailand, Vietnam, Myanmar. Yeah, probably that region, because like it's hard to say like a country, right? But like Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos. I want to go to that area. I want to go all up in there. I want to go all around there, all up in there, like a psycho. Sorry. I want to go to Malaysia. Let's see. Where else do I want to go? I want to go to Indonesia. I definitely want to go in Indonesia. I definitely want to go to the Sulawesi. I want to go to Papua New Guinea. I want to go to Africa. I want to go to New Zealand. Like those are definitely on my list areas to go. I don't know when or how or why or how that's going to possibly pull off, but you never know, man. You just got to figure it out. I got to figure out like how to make those trips. Richard Sheenberg's asking about the new store. I already talked about that at the beginning. We'll probably be doing it. It'll be opening on the 10-year anniversary if you watch Corey's streams. Yeah. Like this week is an interesting week for me because I have new hot water heaters to deal with. One of them's already installed. I got one more to begin the install and then pull water to them. I have to pull water to like a water cooler. I got to figure out some trays. I got to get a sign made. We have a new sign install going up. Like it's just a wild week. We've got some other nonsense going on. Like apparently somebody did a bunch of graffiti on the warehouse, so we got to get that cleaned up. I believe they started cleaning that up today. So I got to go over and like help with that and make sure that that's going the right ways. There's just like a ton of stuff going on. So just as a reminder to like the casual viewer or you guys, you guys that are just around and kind of wondering about what's going on, like the store expansion is a priority, but it is not the priority. Like the priority is warehouse shipping stuff coming out to you guys, like orders that are existing that people have ordered and paid for, and they want to get their stuff. Like that's the priority. The other priority is the current retail store, right? And then we also have other locations that we have to deal with on a regular basis, where things are being stored or things are being imported or things are coming in and going out and blah blah blah. So like the expansion plays second fiddle to anything else being broken, right? Is basically how that all works out, right? So if something in the store gets broken, I got to fix that first. If something gets broken in the warehouse, I got to fix that first. So, I'm like explaining my job to you guys or whatever, but like that's one of the constant questions we get from people, especially that come to the store because they're right there. They're like, oh, it's right there. What's happening? So we do have to kind of explain to people like, well, there's a big leak over here. This thing is broke and it's leaking, so I got to fix that now. And then we have like a weird thing going on over in the other room. I got to go fix that, and then I'll go over there, and then I'll be working on the thing over there for a little bit. Plus the supply chain issues were rough. Definitely 6 months ago, supply chain stuff was out of control. It is definitely calming down finally to the point where, like I mentioned, I was getting these water heaters set up. Like the water heaters were just not in stock. You couldn't get them. They were like, yeah, we don't have those. Because we were going to do on-demand hot water heaters, but then we don't have enough electrical availability electrically to run on-demand hot water heaters for the size that we need. And so instead of underserving, we had to switch and go with some tank water heaters because then we'll have a reserve with the tank water heaters. And actually, it takes less electricity at the point of service, although they are less efficient over the whole big picture, right? But overall, like the weird part was we don't have those in stock. And so it's like, well, when are you going to have those in stock? I don't know. Oh, can you order me one? Yeah, it looks like it's going to be here in a month. Okay, well, then just don't order one. We'll just wait on that because we have other stuff to work on. So, but the store expansion's coming along pretty well, and no real issues. I met with Corey last week. He came by to look at everything that was done. He said thanks, and everything is going well, and we're looking good. So we're gonna start scheduling some of the projects there that you guys will get to see videos about and stuff like that. So it'll be good. Well, nobody's calling in. So I'm gonna hang up from the green room. Wait, I'm gonna comment a watermelon in the Discord. Watermelon. I didn't realize that was something that I could comment. Oh, you can make comments in the Discord phone call chat. Okay, I'm gonna hang up then. Okay, somebody will blast me a thing if I need to get in there. As you guys know, this is a fairly interactive show, right? And the comments have slowed down, so let me see what's going on. I thought it was tasseling. I thought tasseling corn was automated now. I'm a city girl. You know what? I'm not sure if let's find out. I don't think it's automated. Maybe. Oh yeah, maybe they do have one now. Huh. I mean, here's a video of like an automated detasseler, but I don't know. Are people actually using these now? Yeah, it might be automated now.
The TS2's ability to outperform begins up front with a dual height control system.
Okay, maybe they're just doing it all with the machines now. And the poor college kids, what are they going to do? Yeah, it might be all automated now, but then again, who knows? Maybe certain people can't afford the machinery. So they just use humans. But yeah. It would be funny if you trolled us with a pre-recorded stream to see if we noticed. Yeah, actually, I have thought about doing that many times, believe it or not. You can ask Alyssa. I have mentioned that many times to pre-record a live stream and see if anybody actually noticed what was going on. But I think ultimately what would happen is that you guys would actually notice, because I do respond to the chat. I do reply to the chat. Yeah. Sue Thao says, I wonder if people outside the U.S. take interest in our native fishes like we do theirs. Yes, I can confirm 100%. If you go to Europe, like American fish are like, oh, wow, right? They're like, oh, my God, look at that. You got shiners? Oh, and I'm like, they're in the water. You just go get them. So, yes, I can say that 100% that people outside the U.S. are super interested in U.S. fish because they don't necessarily make it over there as much as things make it here. Does that make sense? Like there's not a lot of people exporting fish from the U.S. to Europe or to Asia because they generally become really expensive comparatively to local stuff, right? Like if you're in Myanmar and you want to get some rainbow shiners, they might cost you an equivalent of like $100 a piece or something, whereas you could get celestial pearl danios for probably $1 or what equivalent to $1, whatever it is, right? And so I think that's probably a barrier for almost every market, right? Is that you do have to remember like the economics of buying and selling and shipping and doing all of that kind of stuff. And if it's not a viable business, like most people won't pursue it, right? Regardless. Oh, you did start refereeing soccer at age 12 and babysitting at a similar age. Yeah, I had a paper route. When I was real young, I had a paper route. And then I was a dishwasher. Then I was a job site cleanup guy, right? A buddy of mine turned 18 early. I think it was a year ahead of me. And so once he turned 18, he was able to drive a big pickup truck and a trailer. So I'd often go with him on the weekends because nothing was going on at the job sites on the weekends because all the professionals had the weekends off. So we would go on the weekends and we would take all of the cut lumber, the garbage, the drywall bits, any kind of metal we could find, any kind of stuff. We would load it up in the trailer and go to the dump. And then we would come back and we would load it up in the trailer and then we'd take it to the dump. And then we just do that and sweep and shop vac and just clean up job sites. Did that on the weekends quite a bit, like dishwashing, bussing tables, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I never did any babysitting, probably because I'm a dude and it just was never like recommended. But, yeah, did lots of stuff when I was a kid. Mikey. So, as you guys know, I am a Seahawks fan. Over the weekend, it was great to see the Seahawks return to the win column over the New York Football Jets. That was great. And Mikey, who's a longtime member, he has gifted you guys a lot of memberships. He's a longtime supporter of the channel and very much appreciated member of our community. I hope you guys know that. It's more hey, my hat's off to anybody that can gift memberships and that kind of stuff. That is amazing. It helps grow our patronage and our memberships, with the possibility of growing this channel to be a full-time thing someday, maybe. Who knows? But the community aspect of it is just profoundly important to me. I can't stress that enough. I cannot express like how profoundly important it is that people are involved in the community here. And Mikey happens to be just horribly, like, oh my God, disgustingly a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, which is bonkers to me. But I respect it. It may be crazy. It may be bonkers to me, but I respect it. I can't say I have too many good feelings towards the Pittsburgh Steelers, considering they ruined one of our times going to the Super Bowl, and the refs admitted later that they made a bunch of bad calls, and I think it's still suspect that they got paid to make those calls. But what are you going to do? Retrospectively, it was still great to have made it to the Super Bowl, which was very cool. But it would have been much cooler if Matthew Hasselbeck had a Super Bowl versus, was it Roethlisberger, who I can't, it's hard for me to say his name correctly because I don't normally say it correctly. But regardless of that, we've been joking today over the Pittsburgh Steelers coach getting Coach of the Year. And my argument is that Pete Carroll should get Coach of the Year. They thought we were only going to win 2 games this year. We traded away our star quarterback, who admittedly, it's pretty apparent now, was a problem child, and people at the beginning of the season just thought we were a dumpster fire of a team. And here we are, 8-8, with a chance to make it to the playoffs, and so are the Pittsburgh Steelers with a chance to make it to the playoffs. So very cool. It's going to be very cool this weekend to see if we're going to get some playoff opportunity. Are we going to make it to the playoffs? Who knows? I don't know. I hope we both make it to the playoffs because I like the playoffs, dude. You know what I mean? Why not? I like football, and I have no shame saying that I like football, but I can't track college football. I just can't do it. It's too much. So I watch professional American football, and I like it. It's a wild sport. Can you talk about Hygropenitophyta? I bought some, hoping for it to do well. Roots are small, and I'm having issues even using root tabs, getting it to take hold without the fish popping it up. That's always going to be an issue with any plant. I hope this is the same issue with every plant. Root growth is paramountly important. What I would recommend for your Penitophyta is to add a slight weight to it, something that can hold it vertically, right? There are some very interesting ways to do this. You could glue it to something. You could make a little mounted thing. But what I would do is get it vertically and just let it float. Let it pull from the water column, and it will grow roots, okay? Plants that are just floating, they're in water, they're getting light, they're getting nutrition via fertilization in the water and whatnot. You can just float them, and they will grow roots, right? Unless your tank is like totally toxic and disgusting, and then you will have other issues to deal with, right? But if you have a relatively healthy tank for plants to grow, you can float them, and they will do roots. You can take a plant weight and kind of loosely put a plant weight around stuff to kind of just weigh it down so that it is in that vertical position, and don't worry about gluing it so much, but you want to just kind of keep it in place. So that's going to be your biggest concern. A lot of times people will just keep the rock wool in the basket, add a weight to that, and then just leave the basket in there, and then eventually it'll start to root. Then you can pull it back out, take all the rock wool off, rinse it off in the sink, and then you'll have a lot more to plant with, and hopefully like establish the plant a lot better. So yeah, that's kind of my recommendation on what you should do is just work on allowing it to root, and you already have a scenario in which you can do that. The roots will continue to grow and try to drop down and get to the soil is basically what it's trying to do. But yeah, you could put it back in the rock wool with the pot and put a weight in that and let it go in there. I typically don't put rock wool into tanks because I just don't know what's in the rock wool and stuff like that. So I take the rock wool out, discard it. But I also have spare rock wool. The little rock wool plugs are pretty cheap. Let me see if I can find them. Rock wool plugs. Rock wool starter plugs. That's what they call them. So you want to make sure you should get ones that aren't already doused in some kind of fertilizer. I actually have these. The Grodan is the name of these. You can buy them in all sorts of sizes. Pretty simple. Amazon shipping. So, I mean, chances are you probably have an Amazon account. I am an Amazon affiliate, so if I share a link with you, be aware that I do get commissions off of you buying stuff through Amazon. So if you think that I'm worthy of getting a commission, then buy it through the links. If you don't, then don't do it. But I bought an order similar to this, maybe less. How many pieces did I link? Yeah, 45 is a lot. But I think I bought a 50-pack some odd years ago, and I still have at least half of them left or something like that, or maybe even more. But I still have a bunch. This is $16. There's a 30 blocks for $13. There's 15 for $7. I mean, whatever. I mean, just get some rock wool plugs, and you can always just kind of make your own, soak them in your own tank water, make sure there's nothing weird in them, and you can always just add a root tab into the rock wool itself, put it back in the pot with a weight at the bottom of the pot, and drop it in there, and that is a viable way to get the roots to be growing. At some point, I should probably make a video on how to do that. Where did I share? Oh. I had an image of, plants upon when we receive them, and then a week later, and then 2 weeks later. I don't know where it is now, though. But yeah. We both have teams that should have had 0 chances at the playoffs, according to the experts. That's true. Nabokov fan 87 says Dolphins fan. Let's just move on to next year. Yeah, I'm really sorry about the Dolphins. They seem like a really solid team this year. That's a big decline. Where did they Yeah, they lost to the Patriots last weekend. That is a bummer. They lost to the Packers. That's a huge bummer. They lost to the Dolphins. That is an insane bummer. Or they lost to the Patriots. Sorry. The Dolphins lost to the Patriots. That's a bummer. Losing to the Bills, okay. I mean, the Bills are a really good team, so that's. But lost to the Chargers, Bills, Packers, Patriots, and you're playing the Jets this weekend with nothing left to play for. Yeah, we knocked the Jets out of the playoff contention this last Sunday, which is always kind of a bummer, you know what I mean? What was the overall record standings? 8-8. 8-8 behind the Patriots now. You could have won it. You could have, beat the Patriots, and you probably stand a chance for a wild card spot, right? No, Ravens. Ravens are at 10-6. Steelers are at 8-8. Oh, so you had a chance. Are the Dolphins out statistically? Jaguars, Titans. Are the Dolphins eliminated? Let's see. They might be eliminated. Let's see. Dolphins playoff picture. Miami's updated AFC wildcard chances entering Week 18. The Dolphins exit Week 17 out of the final AFC wildcard spot. They slipped to number 8 behind number 7 Patriots, who have a tiebreaker despite the season split because of the divisional record. The Dolphins are also now even with the Steelers, who beat the Ravens on Monday night. The Jets were eliminated behind the Dolphins. Dolphins remaining schedule. Yeah? Oh, okay. The Dolphins are looking at a 50-50 chance of making the playoffs, but that's dropped significantly from being a near sure thing a couple weeks ago. Take care of their win. Okay, so they need to win, and some other. Who else needs to lose? The Patriots need to lose. Well, hopefully the Patriots lose. Let's be honest here. Yeah. Anyhow, I think statistically they still could do it. Bills beats the Pats. They win. Oh, yeah, that's not good. Sadly, they can still make, but the team is beat up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This isn't an NFL talk show, so we'll just move on. This past weekend, we did have a Happy New Year. Although I will admit, the new yard, the dog got out during the fireworks extravaganza, and luckily, we have very cool neighbors that found Biddy, who was standing out in our yard up by the street, and they were like, "What the F is this dog doing out here?" Apparently, she was having a panic attack and freaking out because the fireworks somehow got out of the backyard. We have yet to figure out how she did it, but here we are. The dog had escaped. Luckily, we have some cool neighbors that picked her up, brought her inside, and so nothing really bad happened, although she was walking around with a limp. She was limping around old dog style, and so that was our big freak out of the weekend. But definitely got to see a bunch of family this weekend, which is amazing, and the kids had a great time, and everybody had had good vibes. So we definitely we rang in the new year correct, getting to see family, having a good time. Got something to eat. We had a potluck, so there was lots of good food, and all of that vibe. Let me check my emails. We got no emails. Okay, I got work emails coming in because obviously it's the beginning of the year, so we got to get those work emails coming in strong. Everyone is blaming Biden for the U.S. economy, which has cut the deficit, has the strongest job growth in 50 years, and the lowest unemployment and highest wage growth, especially for lower-paid workers. Why are the Democrats not touting this success? All true. It is true. Let's see. Okay. Well, we'll read that later. But yeah, I'm a big fan of the Biden administration so far. I did have high hopes that they were going to be doing a lot more, kind of aggressively kind of doing stuff. But then again, it's hard to say that they aren't doing things pretty aggressively. So that's good. On sad local news here, Dory Munson, who the guy I detest. He's disgusting. He's the Rush Limbaugh of Seattle. Passed away, which is unfortunate and sad, at 61 years old, which, you don't really want to like celebrate the death of anybody. It is really sad for their loved ones, their family, especially somebody meeting an untimely death. But I will not miss the rantings of a madman on the radio about all sorts of crazy stuff and spreading all sorts of crazy conspiracy theories and whatnot. I'm glad that I won't ever have to hear about that anymore, of which I can say it's definitely created some strange arguments over the years with friends of mine that have had a tendency to listen to that while at work, and, so I'm not going to miss it. I'm not going to miss that guy doing all sorts of crazy stuff on the radio and basically just having a free microphone to scream into people's ears while at work, because it's very common to hear that radio on at like job sites and like mechanic shops and things like that, and it's pretty crazy. One of the joys of being on the mountains, I didn't even hear gunfire this year. I heard gunfire down the street a couple of times, which is just an insanely stupid thing. If you have a gun, do not fire it up in the air. Yes, it has sort of been debunked that the bullets don't come down at the exact same speed that they're coming out of the gun because, math, right? But it still is incredibly dangerous to have a bullet falling from the sky. Linda Worth says, too bad another crazy will take his place. Yeah, it's this gal named, what's her name? Brandy something. What's her name? Brandy Cruz will be the crazy person taking his place. Most likely, as she has been filling in for him, but she is a known crazy, and recently was kicked off of the Fox. Yeah. Yeah, she's okay. They say that she was kicked off of KCPQ 13, or that she decided to leave because of personal reasons, right? Yeah, that she's claiming to be an independent journalist now or whatever. So she's kind of a known crazy person, but I think it'll definitely change the dynamic, if only because most of the people that listen to that type of talk radio are, generally speaking, and I'm very generalizing here, so people stay calm your pants. Most of those people are very sexist, generally speaking, and probably won't want to listen to a female voice rambling nonsense at them all day long, right? So that's the upside. And she's very known. She's very wacky. And she's one of those people that's like hyper conservative, but then goes like, I'm just a moderate trying to get the truth. And you're like, yeah, it doesn't seem to, it doesn't pan very well because the only people following you are crazies, right? So, yeah. A lot of chaos in the background here, but yeah. Anyhow, I want to give a big shout out to Jake. Oh, wait, was it Jake? Yeah. Oh, no, Jack, sorry. Is it Jake from State Farm or is it Jack Betts? Jack Betts became a new member today, and a big shout out to the Fish Tank Barn for gifting 5 memberships. We don't have any super chats or anything, I don't think. Okay. So Kiwi Mamo was re-gifted a membership. Catherine Thomas, James Dover, Carmos Creations, and Gary Chodorau were gifted new memberships today, so very much appreciated. Hope everyone is having a fantastic, amazing, crazy, beautiful new year. Yeah, Nabokov fan says there were a few lawsuits with the bosses at Fox News. It's true. He says John Oliver is actually fun to watch. It is very true. I think even if you are a hyper-conservative person, that John Oliver actually has some value there to be like, oh, wait, maybe there's something going on here worth watching. I don't think you have to be of a specific political view to enjoy John Oliver because there's, admittedly, at least funny stuff in there for sure. Yeah. But thank you for the gifted memberships. Remember, you can become a member at any time. You can do it anytime. You don't have to do it during the show. And an easy way to explain that is John Barnes became a member, re-upped their membership in between shows. I'm here on Mondays whenever the afternoon schedule works out. Today was 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Sometimes it's noon. Sometimes it's 1. It kind of shifts around depending on the things I got to take care of and stuff that I got to do. But needless to say, I am here on Mondays. To those of you in Australia land, that means Tuesday. But if you are in the regular part of the world, it'd be Monday, baby. But hopefully everyone has a fantastic new year and everything is going in the direction that you want it to go, right? Okay.